Well, hello and welcome to all of our viewers here today. I'm Fiona Lang Sharp, IBCLC Director of Communications and MC here at Gold Learning. Well, I have to tell you, I'm just a little giddy today because we have Andrea Herron here. And so far, we've been having such a wonderful time. And I have to say that, Andrea, you were one of the last people that I got to see face to face in California. And we had a wonderful time
We
together
did.
sharing about all sorts of great things, including your book, which I know we'll get a chance to talk about in just a moment. But please, could you introduce yourself to everyone who's listening in today and tell them a little bit about where you are in the world and what you do?
Okay. I'm located in California on the beautiful Central Coast. I've been there for over 35 years. I have a little Victorian house where my practice is located
Mm.
downtown San Luis Obispo, which is a college town. So I am very fortunate to have a very busy practice, which has been growing. Currently, I am seeing grandchildren.
Oh,
And when I do my support groups, it's really fun because sometimes the grandmothers come and they will talk about how they sat there with their baby, who's now next to them with their baby in their arms. So I'm very privileged. I feel very fortunate. Because of my nurse practitioner background, the physicians in town tend to refer the higher risk babies. So, and I have jointly worked with an occupational therapist for years. So I
wow.
feel very, very lucky that I have this wonderful place to work and get to go to work, because if you love your work, you never
Mm.
work a day in your life.
Oh my goodness, that does sound just lovely. But tell me, was it always like that? Like, how did you get into the field, and what was the drive for you? Because I know for some people, perhaps listening in, they're at the beginning of their career, Andrea. And so, tell us a little bit about that journey for yourself.
So in the 1970s, I had always wanted to be a pediatric nurse. Since the time I can remember, there was never any other thought in my brain. So after graduating from nursing school, after about 6 months, I started working at UCLA and ended
Hmm.
up in the pediatric emergency room. Well, during that time, there was a doctor shortage. So they actually sent me and two of my coworkers to a nurse practitioner course where we trained. We had a 6 month training and then a 1 year internship with the interns from residence at UCLA. And
Hmm.
I built this really busy practice, but then we moved to San Luis Obispo and no one had ever heard of a nurse practitioner. So I
Oh.
slowly kind of tried to build a practice, but decided that since I didn't have a master's degree yet, decided my goal was to do something preventative.
Mm.
So I signed up for UCLA graduate school. And at UCLA, you can design your program
Mm.
to do what you want to do with your career.
Mm.
I wanted to do something preventative. So I built my curriculum around feeding issues.
Mm.
I've always been just in love with watching mothers and babies. And I know how important that early relationship is for long term emotional and health
Hmm.
wellness. So that's what I did. And during that time, I took a 2 unit course from Dr. Jelliff, who was an international breastfeeding expert. And I found out that everything I had been teaching my clients as a nurse practitioner was wrong.
Oh.
So when I finished, my goal was to come back to San Luis Obispo and start a breastfeeding practice and also parenting. So I wanted to do early parenting
Hmm.
and feeding issues. So hoping to just really influence that early development.
Oh.
And then I also was very influenced by my dear friend Ruth Wester and Audrey Naylor, who had Wellstar International.
Mm.
And they were doing a preventative practice and they were my mentors.
Mm.
So
I
that's how I
just love that.
started. Yeah, and it grew. I started off. No one even knew much about breastfeeding when we
Right.
started. Kathleen Huggins and I started a breastfeeding program in San Luis Obispo. We both commuted to UCLA, took the second course they ever gave in breastfeeding consulting. And I slowly built a practice where I would sit and see maybe two patients a week.
Hmm.
And now we probably see 100, 150 a month,
Mm. Wow.
so it's been building, and it's just been the best thing in my whole life. It's such a special privilege to work with parents and families and that
Mm.
beginning relationship.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And I think, you're preaching to the choir here,
Yeah,
that's why we all got into it, or we're getting into it. And I think that, it's just there's so much it's boundless, and what we can do and who we can reach, and the things that we can interpret, for different families, different areas that we can specialize in. And I loved you sharing about how, you like to teach in early parenting as well. And I know one of the areas that is I mean, it's one of the things you're going to be talking about, is about infant cues, and how to how to teach parents to know how to listen to their babies. And so let's just go over some of the details that you're going to be teaching us on. So the title of your presentation is "The Relationship Between Parent Infant Synchrony, Breastfeeding Success, and Infant Cues." And isn't it fascinating that, that this is something that, comes up all the time, I think, with every client that I see, Andrea. I don't know if it's the same for you and those of you listening in today, but we get asked those questions over and over again. What does my baby want? I don't know.
right.
Tell me, share with me.
Yes, how do I know
Yeah,
they're hungry? How do I know they're full? Why doesn't
everything.
my baby sleep?
Yes.
Can I schedule my baby right now? What is this
Yes.
baby trying to tell me? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. So many of those things. So you're going to be coming and sharing here for our Gold Learning Day. So let's just tell folks when that is. It's going to be August 17th. It's going to be a live event, which means that Andrea is going to be here right on your screen. But not only that, she's got a fabulous presentation, interactive, and she'll have an opportunity to actually engage with you as well. So if you can, try and come on August 17th for the live event. And of course, it will be recorded for your convenience as well. So you'll be able to listen to the recording if you're not available that day. So, Andrea, tell me a little bit about what we should expect from your presentation on our Gold Learning Day.
Well, this is information that I share with the parents that I see every time I see a patient. I take the opportunity to show them the baby's cues. So we will go into detail about cues. And one
Mm,
of the most exciting things is you're going to receive a handout that you
mm,
can give to your parents that's going to go over what they can expect and how to learn to look at their baby instead of Google.
right.
No, one of my objectives is to help these parents stop their logs, stop their Dr. Google, and
Mm,
really just learn to read the baby. And I give them this handout, and then when they come back the next time, they'll tell me that what they've observed, and I
mm,
can tell that they've really started to really look at the baby, not the clock, not Dr. Google. So we are going to go into how to teach parents to baby watch. I have detailed information about cues. I'm
mm,
going to review infant state because that was information that we learned about over and over again in the 70s and the 80s.
mm-hmm,
But when I ask, and I have really highly educated clients because of the college,
mm-hmm,
rarely have they even heard of this topic. They do not understand infant state. They just think the baby's sleeping all day and crying all night.
right.
So it's going to be a review of that and how to
Mm-hmm,
teach it to parents, and then a handout, and then some video about showing some demonstrations about how to see the cues. And so I'm hoping that now with that information, will just be re-inspired to share it with clients at every opportunity.
Oh, wow. Well, that sounds wonderful, because I know for sure, it's something that I try to go over as many times, but there's never enough learning done in this area, because behavioral things are unique. And I think that we need to provide the guidance for those families to
Right.
really do the observations instead of observing, the weight scales, or, the milliliters, or whatever it is. Behaviors become one of the most important aspects, I think. Maybe I'm biased, Andrea, but I think they're one of the most important things that a
Well,
parent and
yes,
baby can have together.
when Lisa and I started writing our book, we had goals, but we also did research. And
Hmm.
behavior is one of the main reasons that parents wean from the breast. They don't
Right.
understand baby behavior. And so that's why our book is we have chapters on temperament, infant behavior, infant
Mm,
state, how to, crying. how to tell what your baby needs, just because that's the chief reason that parents either restrict their diet. Mothers will stop eating everything because they think it's causing the baby rather
Right.
to cry, rather than understand this is a normal crying time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And your book is available now. Suckle, Sleep, Thrive: Breastfeeding Success Through Understanding Your Baby's Cues and Unique Temperament. And you that's available for everybody right now, correct? They can purchase that.
Right. They can purchase it on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, or from the publisher.
Perfect. That's
Yeah.
wonderful. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. So, Andrea, I mean, I have to say we've got a fantastic team coming to us live on Gold Learning Day, and I know it's going to be wonderful to have you there, sharing all of your knowledge that you have researched and learned over the years. This is a very special day, of course. It's titled "Breastfeeding in the Early Weeks: Clinical Education Techniques." It's going to be live on Gold Learning on August 17th. And Andrea is going to be teaching us the relationship between parent-infant synchrony, breastfeeding success, and infant cues. Andrea, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to having you back very soon here at Gold Learning. And I know it's going to be a great day of learning.
You're very welcome. It's lovely talking with you.
Thank you so much. And to all of our viewers here today, don't forget, check out the website right now at goldlearning.com. It's super easy. You can just log in and see all the details of the event. All the abstracts and biographies are up there as well. So check all those things out. And we will look forward to seeing you live on August 17th. But for now, we'll say goodbye and have a wonderful rest of your day.